problem was too many people are working, or working people are working, making too much money. That's not the problem.
Well, wait, is that the problem or is that not the problem? The problem is too many people are working, people with jobs are working, and that's the problem. Wait a minute, that's not the problem. What am I saying? What am I, the President of the United States or something? What year is it? Where am I? That's President Joe Biden. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's our guy. Who voted for him? Raise your hand if you voted for him. All right, sorry, we're going to have to double your taxes. Stupid taxes being imposed nationwide. And if you're a registered Democrat, well, then you're responsible for all of this. For the open borders, for the MS-13, for the New York City being overwhelmed. Is New York City is that a border city, Michael? Borders New Jersey. So overwhelmed by illegal aliens, thanks to Joe Biden and Democrat voters, that they want $12 billion federal taxpayer dollars to, that's going to be, they say they got 25,600 illegal aliens. That's about $480,000 per illegal alien in New York City. $480,000. What are they, going to NYU? These people, can I just say these people? Because they are really something. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, happy Thursday to you and welcome. We are at 888-630-9625. 888-630-9625 is the telephone number here. The front page of the New York Post, but not the Washington Post, is Joe Biden standing there holding a sign in his hands and smirking like a mental case. Open for business. Price $20 million. Because, the Biden organized crime family, they're on the march, aren't they? Foreign clients gave Hunter a Porsche, a diamond, and millions of dollars. What did they think they were buying? Now, that's an appropriate headline, and that's what the news media all across America should be talking about. But they aren't, because they're too busy cheating on their spouses and their taxes. Isn't that amazing? And the big headline is Joe for sale. And the S in sale is a dollar sign, of course. Today's cover of the New York Post. That is where the Biden family is. And it's where the news media ought to be, but where the news media is not. Pretty amazing stuff. Also, subheadline of the New York Post, migrants will cost New York City taxpayers $12 billion. $12 billion. You guys, this is what you voted for. This is where you live. This is what's going on. The Upper West Side, Lady Gaga's father, they're all going crazy because mobs of illegal aliens are out on the streets with hookers. Where do they get the money for that? And their motorbikes, where do they get the money for that? And raising hell until 4 o'clock in the morning. Then they pass out and start over again at 10 o'clock that night because it's a Democrat Party program. Know what I'm saying? And we just spoke to Brock. I wish, honestly, that I had more time with Brock. I apologize. Calling from Key West. Brock calling in from Key West. And he said he was at the Fort Lauderdale airport the other day. It was 5 p.m. He was coming in from another country altogether. Not this country, but another country. And that there were, he estimated about, what did he say? He said 1,200 Haitian migrants at the Fort Lauderdale airport. And Brock was just trying to, get out of the airport, get going, coming in from another country. And he was stopped by a Customs Border Protection person who said, "Are you with the Biden program? Are you with the Biden program?" Now, what exactly does that mean? The Biden program of bringing thousands and thousands of people in through airports all over the country, from countries all over the world, under cover of darkness. And, your Democrat Party. This is your Democrat Party. And we're going to have to go, sorry, Democrats, we're going to have to go with the Democrat tax. And the Democrat tax means that if you're a registered Democrat, your tax rate is twice that of registered Republicans. Now, you can't just go change your registration either. This goes with your registration and the last election cycle. Because, the governor in Massachusetts has declared a state of emergency for the state of Massachusetts, not a southern border state. And the lieutenant governor is suggesting that you take gangs of illegal aliens, MS-13 members, into your home and put them in what she said, put them in a suite. Put them in a suite. I'm guessing the lieutenant governor lives in a big house. They don't have a lieutenant governor's mansion, so you live in your own house. But when she says you should put them in a suite in your home, that's a clue.
Most importantly, if you have an extra room or suite in your home, please consider hosting a family.
Hosting. You're going to a family. The Manson family is here. Put them in your Manson family suite, your MS-13 suite. They are really amazing, aren't they? Yes, they are. This is your Democrat Party. Now, now you've angered Lady Gaga's father too. Man, hey, how's Hunter Biden's art career going? Because he's the world's greatest painter. His paintings sell for more than Picasso's. In some instances, there are Picasso's that sell for less than Hunter Biden paintings. And he blows paint through a straw because he always has straws nearby. He keeps straws handy for a variety of reasons and multiple occasions. So we've got that. Now let's get to some Joe Biden audio here because he's the president of the United States. And then horrible things going on in Hawaii. The people have been killed by the dozens by this fire on Maui, and it's nuts. Unfortunately, the Democrats are already politicizing it because, never let a crisis go to waste. But we'll get into that a bit anyway. Sad situation there in Hawaii. And this is quite an amazing story. And the story written by Hung Kao, who ran for Congress in Virginia last time around and should have won. But, Democrats are racists. So Biden surrenders America for the 6th time. America needs leadership, not lifelong politicians like Biden and Senator Tim Kaine, Hung Kao writing. And he points out that under Joe Biden, the United States has shut down our embassies in 6 different countries because he's our shining light on foreign affairs and diplomacy. Remember, that's what the New York Times told us, that Joe Biden is a foreign policy expert, and he's going to reestablish, because Trump did such a bad job with 3 Middle East peace deals and no war in Europe and North Korea in a cage and Putin not acting up and Xi Jinping being slapped back instead of Xi Jinping slapping us back. But never mind that. It's pretty amazing. And Hung Kao points out that we've shut down our embassies and evacuated our embassies and had to send in the military to evacuate our embassies in various places. We shut down and evacuated our embassy in Sudan. We've shut down our embassy in Haiti. We've shut down our embassy in Belarus, in Ukraine, and now in Niger, in Africa. So we've shut down American embassies in a total of 6 countries now. Afghanistan. I mean, it's just that the Biden administration is a disaster. They're a complete disaster. But at least the Biden family is getting rich off of Kazakhstan and Russia and Ukraine and China and Romania, right? The list is getting longer and Democrat list. And honestly, I think the Democrat tax is going to have to be imposed. Whatever normal people pay, Democrats should pay at least twice that amount to the federal government coffers because you people are mental. Mental. Isn't that amazing? It didn't even make news. We had to send in the U.S. military to evacuate our embassy personnel in Sudan. There's a little war going on because Joe Biden is our foreign policy president. And that Trump, he was the problem. Peace in Europe, secure border, no state of emergency in Massachusetts. New York City not being overrun by illegal aliens until 4 o'clock in the morning. At least it's the Upper West Side of Manhattan where they richly deserve this kind of reality since they created, hey, but you're a sanctuary state. You're a sanctuary this, you're a sanctuary that. Let's go to Joe Biden. Also, a political assassination in Ecuador. A presidential candidate shot and killed there yesterday at a political event. And, you know, it's the way the world is going. And we should worry about it because the Democrats are turning the United States of America into a third world beep hole country. And soon enough, people will be fleeing the United States. In fact, people already are fleeing the United States of America because the left is here. And their plan is to suck the lifeblood out of the greatest country and the most powerful economy on the planet because they're anti-capitalist, they're anti-liberty, they're pro-authoritarian, and they're here. Let's go to Lunch Bucket Joe because he's one of the biggest idiots in the history of the world. He was in New Mexico with Senator Heinrich, Senator Martin Heinrich, and he's just a babbling idiot. Try to stick to the teleprompter, Joe.
Senator Heinrich, I tell you what, I'm glad I was a flanker back. I'm glad I didn't have you on the other side as a tight end.
I'm glad I was a flanker back and they didn't have you on the other side as a tight end. Is that like an LGBTQ reference of some kind? What is he talking about there? And now let's fact check whether he was a flanker back, which he doubtless was not. Honestly, yesterday he quoted something that he claimed his mother used to say, which raised the question, did he even have a mother? Because if he says, my mother used to say, first thing you should do is check and see if he had a mother. Then Joe Biden saying that the electronics company Siemens, talking about, and then he just drifts off into something weird about hibernation.
Siemens Corporation laid off workers who were making wind turbine parts and put the plant in Iowa and Kansas into what they now call, they refer to as hibernation. I hibernated in a while.
You hibernated I hibernated in a while. I hibernated in a while. I'm sorry, what are you babbling about now? You did hibernate in the 2020 election season, and the media campaigned for you, and then you got a record number of votes, more than anybody in the history of the country, more than Barack Obama, because the racist Democrats didn't show up to vote for Obama. They voted for old white guy dwelling in his basement. More for Joe Biden by the millions than Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton because they're sexist. What other possible explanation could there be? And he's talking about Siemens hibernating, which ought to remind everyone of the Biden-backed electric vehicle company that he promoted and brought to the White House and said that they were the future of our economy and of clean energy. And the electric bus company, San Francisco, California-based, of course, called Proterra, they filed for bankruptcy day before yesterday because, it's Biden's economy. And they filed for, but this was the model for saving our economy and the planet from climate change and global warming and all of this madness. And they, Proterra filed for Chapter 11 the other day. Various market and macroeconomic headwinds, he says, that caused them to file for bankruptcy. They have impacted their ability to efficiently scale. They were trying to scale as a verb, and now they've declared bankruptcy. So maybe they're just hibernating too, Joe. I got it. And this guy in the news media sits there and nods. What do you hear? Peter Doocy finally got one question to him. Had to climb over a fence, and the other reporters sat there clapping like seals. Hey, I've got breaking news. Joe Biden's plan to introduce the digital dollar in the United States of America is already underway, and it's vital to understand the potential consequences of this left-wing effort. Contrary to their claims, of course, this is not going to be in your best interest or mine. Time is of the essence, so taking action now is absolutely necessary to protect your financial future. You can help protect your savings and your retirement and your family from the risks of the digital dollar by diversifying with gold and silver IRAs. Call the experts at American Alternative Assets. They are great at American Alternative Assets. Call them today at 888-4GOLD20, 888-446-5360. They'll give you all the guidance you need to safeguard your retirement and your savings. Say no to Joe Biden's digital dollar. Call 888-4GOLD20, 888-446-5360. Knowledge is good. Individual results may vary. There is no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Seek your own legal, tax, investment, and financial advice before opening an account. Yeah, hibernating and Siemens. And, they were going to make wind turbines. They're going to make wind turbines. But, now the project for wind turbines, hibernating. It's hibernating, right? Just like the electric bus thing he was pushing last year. These people need to be fired.
Coma? Why, I go in and out of comas all the... French toast, please.
Hey, it's Chris Plant, excited to tell you about our July 2024 Listener Sea Cruise. We'll be sailing around the British Isles, visiting Scotland and Ireland. Please join us. Book by this July 31st for extra savings. Visit ChrisPlantCruise.com. Now, my friend Marty went to college in Massachusetts. And since they've declared a state of emergency in the state of Massachusetts, and the lieutenant governor is asking people in Massachusetts to take illegal aliens and MS-13 members with tattoos of spider webs on their necks, swastikas on their arms, into their homes to sleep in the bedroom next to your little daughter. My friend Marty says, hey, there are like 114 colleges and universities in Massachusetts. It's summertime now. Nobody's living in the dorms. You can host the illegal aliens in the dorms at all the colleges and universities. They can have a room. They have cafeterias there to feed them. They have gyms they can exercise. They can have movie night, And when September rolls around and the students come back, they can all live together. The students will become bilingual, and the illegals will have all kinds of liberal friends to tell them how great they are for being illegal aliens in the United States. Honestly, it's like a foreign exchange program. You don't have to go anywhere. This is pretty good. The liberals have figured out a new college foreign exchange program. They bring foreign to you, see? And that's good for the climate, because now all these students don't have to get on planes to spend their summers in Portugal and Morocco. They can bring the world to them, and they can all shack up together, learn the language of love, in dormitories. Democrats. Yes, sir. Ba-da-bam-ba. And I want to update you on a story that made big news across the country. In Virginia a while back, a 6-year-old boy at school shot his teacher. Remember this story? And the media, it was covered for a couple of days because, they're shocked, they're aghast. And a little boy, 6 years old, brought his mother's gun to school, shot his teacher. And turns out the kid is a total psychopath. Those kids in cages? Seeing those pictures of kids? Looks like we have maybe the wrong kids in cages. This kid is a psychopath. At least he appears to be and sounds like a psychopath. But listen to this. CBS News has the story. 6-year-old boy who shot his Virginia teacher said, quoting him now, "I shot that bitch dead." He's a 6-year-old, all right? Unsealed records show. The 6-year-old boy accused of shooting and seriously wounding his first-grade teacher in Virginia last winter later said, "I shot that bee dead," according to newly unsealed redacted search warrants. A lot of secret redacted stuff in this country. Why would that be secret and redacted? What is with that? Why would it be sealed? And a reading specialist was restraining the boy, walking by the classroom, heard the shots, walked in, 6-year-old boy there with a gun in his hand, having just shot his teacher. And the reading specialist grabbed the kid and held him in place until the police got there. And the reading specialist restraining the boy when officers arrived at Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia, on January 6th. According to the documents, she'd grabbed him after the classroom shooting and held him in place until police arrived. "I did it," the boy allegedly said as he was being restrained. "I got my mom's gun last night, and then I shot the bee dead." Now, fortunately, he didn't shoot her dead, but that was obviously his intent, his goal. And this goes back to one of my favorite sayings. I come up with all my favorite sayings. All my favorite sayings, not all of them, are mine. And that is, the problem is not our guns, it's your sons. You're raising gangs of psychopaths. We're going to have to double your federal income taxes until your children stop being mad psychopaths going around shooting everybody. Is that too much to ask? Clearly it is. Police later confirmed that the boy used his mother's gun, which was purchased illegally. I'm sorry, what? What is it was purchased illegally? Yes, it was. While the boy has not been charged, his mother, Deja Taylor, like deja vu, Deja Taylor, was indicted in April on charges of felony child neglect and misdemeanor recklessly leaving a loaded firearm as to endanger a child. She was additionally charged in June with unlawfully using a controlled substance while in possession of a firearm and making a false statement during the purchase of a firearm, just like Hunter Biden. Now, wait a minute. See, are we sure this woman isn't Hunter Biden? Because he got child neglect. He doesn't recognize his bastard child, Navy Joan Roberts in Arkansas, the cute little daughter of the exotic dancer, the former exotic dancer. That's a stripper in Washington, D.C. So she was in possession of a controlled substance, that's drugs, and in possession of a firearm, that's illegal, and then making a false statement during the purchase of the firearm. This sounds like Hunter Biden all over the place. She pleaded guilty June 12th to illegally obtaining and possessing a firearm, like Hunter Biden, and making a false statement, like Hunter Biden, on a Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives form, just like Hunter Biden, to purchase the firearm, like Hunter Biden. Taylor, Deja Taylor, will face a maximum penalty of 25 years in prison when she is sentenced in October. Joe Biden will get the Presidential Medal of Freedom and a bedroom in the White House. The teacher, Abigail Zwerner, 25 years old, suffered gunshot wounds to her chest and hand. She needed 4 surgeries to recover from the attack by the 6-year-old psychopath. Zwerner has filed a $40 million lawsuit after the shooting. She accuses the school of gross negligence for allegedly ignoring multiple warnings that the boy had a gun and was in a violent mood on the day of the shooting, a 6-year-old in a violent mood. And it turns out that it doesn't even end there. But, you know, this I shot that B word dead is pretty amazing stuff. And it turns out that the kid also choked one of his teachers it was in 2021. That's 2 years ago, September, nearly so. He was 4 years old. And he must be a giant or something, bringing his mom's gun. So his mom lied on the same form that Hunter Biden lied on, right? Mom left the gun laying around. Mom's doing drugs. The 6-year-old takes the gun to school. The 6-year-old shoots the 25-year-old teacher and then says, "I shot that beep dead." This kid belongs in a cage along the border. We'll give him one of those Mylar blankets, give him a silver blanket. But it turns out that in September of 2021, the boy walked behind another teacher while she was sitting, placed his arms around her neck and pulled her down, choking her to the point that she could not breathe. A teacher's assistant forcibly removed the boy from the classroom. Boy, I'm telling you. And here's what we've learned about Deja and her household. They're Democrats. All right, they're Democrats. Drug abusing, illegal gun buying, raising psychopaths who at the age of 6 years old shoot their teachers, at the age of 4 years old, choking the teacher, dragging the teacher to the ground, and and voting for Biden. That's the thing about these people, and that's why we're going to have to double their taxes. Seems only fair. We should start deporting Democrats too to other countries. Where should we deport Democrats to? First, we'll deport the millions and millions and millions of, what is it? Joe Biden has allowed more illegal aliens into the country than the number is greater than the population of like 30-some states in the United States of America of illegal aliens that Joe Biden has waved into the country. And now, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, he yesterday is demanding that they declare a state of emergency. Right? Massachusetts has declared a state of emergency because of illegal aliens. New York City wants $12 billion of our money to pay for their sanctuary city policies because of illegal aliens. And the mayor there, Eric Adams, who is already a failed mayor, I think, is insisting that they have to declare a state of emergency to make it easier to get federal funds, $12 billion, $480,000 per illegal alien, because they're psychotic and they'll steal everything that isn't screwed to the floor. See what I'm saying? Isn't that amazing? That's an amazing story. And speaking of Democrats, in Ecuador, the country of Ecuador, my best girl and I vacationed we went to Ecuador and then we went to the Galapagos Islands, which on one of our annual sea cruises, which, Ecuador owns the Galapagos Islands. And we started in Quito, Ecuador, and perfectly nice, nice people, nice place. Too many lefties, though. Ecuador presidential candidate Villavicencio was assassinated, shot and killed yesterday at a campaign event. Ecuador presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio, a vocal critic of corruption and organized crime, was killed at a campaign event on Wednesday, authorities said, amid an upsurge in violence in the Andean nation blamed on drug traffickers. We actually have the audio of the incident itself. He was being escorted out of a building with at least 2 and probably more security personnel around him. He was escorted to a vehicle, an awaiting vehicle. The back door, passenger side was open. He was smiling and nodding at people, and he got into the back seat of the vehicle, and then this happened. Fans. Local media said that there may have been as many as 30 shots fired at the scene of the crime there. The event north of the capital, Quito. And Quito is a pretty cool city. Footage posted on the social media showed that Villavicencio getting into a car after the event, and then the gunfire broke out. I believe that the gunman was grabbed and dragged to the ground by security and other people, and I think that he's in custody. Officials said that they had arrested 6 people so far in connection with the crime during raids in Quito. Maybe rounding up political enemies. Hard to say. Kind of like here in the United States. Isn't it amazing? All right, let's see. So that's what's going on in the world. Sorry, but that is what's going on. And the problem is not our guns; it's your sons. And this woman, this amazing story that this woman lied on the same gun form that Hunter Biden lied on, and it has to do with the same thing, the drug use. And she's looking at 25 years in prison, and Hunter Biden may get a job anchoring a show on CNN. It's good to be a Democrat, isn't it? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. However, this family is, that's definitely a Democrat family. There is no mention of dad anywhere in the story about the 6-year-old. Mom, drugs, lied on the form, got the gun, 6-year-old psychopath who choked the teacher when he was 4 years old, dragging her to the ground, choking her like a psycho. Shouldn't have been in school, should be in a cage along the border. You know, those cages that Obama built to put children in. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let's take a phone call, Michael, because I'm going on and on over here. Let's go to Matt, calling from St. Louis, Missouri. Matthew, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. Happy
Matt.
Thursday in Outlaw Sweetopia. And I think the Missouri governor and lieutenant governor got their inspiration for their Host an Illegal Alien program from the fine people of Martha's Vineyard. They want the rest of the state to, follow the example of the warm welcome they gave the Ron DeSantis 50-some illegal aliens he sent up there. So, they want to spread that statewide. Well,
the Democrats brought in the National Guard. They threw all those illegal aliens out and put them on a military base on Cape Cod and brought in the National Guard to contain them. And they rifle butted most of them to death, we later learned. I just made up the last part.
Well, I love your idea about the colleges, though, because there are, certainly Harvard is one. There are probably other poison Ivy League schools in Massachusetts. So I think putting them there, all the macadamia nuts could, enjoy all the, all the benefits of the, what they espouse.
Yeah.
It gets experience firsthand.
Yeah.
And a side thing, I didn't mention this to Jasmine because you hadn't talked about it yet so much. I actually know a teacher in Newport News who had an encounter with that kid. If I got the story right, it was either in preschool or maybe kindergarten. And she knew he was a bad seed, from that moment. He told her to shut the F up. So, and, at whatever age, 3, 4, 5, whatever age he was at that point. So
yeah,
he knew he was a bad seed then.
That's funny. I used the term bad seed earlier today, talking about the kid, too. A fun movie from the 1950s, The Bad Seed, about a psychopathic kid. And sometimes a bad seed comes along. It's the wrong sperm, the wrong egg, and becomes a psychopath no matter what. And sometimes it's not single mom's fault, and, dad's nowhere to be found. And the little psychopath, it's true, sometimes you can identify the crazy little people very early on, and sometimes they can be saved with kindness and with love, and sometimes they can't, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I like the idea. Honestly, the academia nuts and the poison Ivy League colleges, you're right. All the illegals should be housed there. And then the future leadership of America going to college in Massachusetts can, have cultural experience. It is like it's a foreign exchange program and they don't have to go anywhere, which is, it reduces their carbon footprint. And that's nice. Yeah, no, it'd be great. Finally let them enjoy the enlightenment they espouse and live with what they never have to, what they want everyone else to have, but they won't, same as the people on Martha's Vineyard, Yeah.
Sure, they all vote for sanctuary this and sanctuary that.
That's right.
When they actually show up, they got nothing to do with it.
They call in the military, like this lunatic anti-Semite city councilman in Washington, D.C., Trayon White, wants to call out the National Guard in our nation's capital because Democrat kids are murdering so many people. We have like 161 murders so far this year, on track to have the highest murder rate in 20 years. And Trayon White's calling for the National Guard. He voted to defund the police. Big fan of defunding the police. And the Democrats, they're these political leadership. They have responsibilities and they have power, and they exercise this power, and they create policies, and then the policies lead to people being murdered and robbed and lives being destroyed. And of course, they never take any responsibility for any of it because they're Democrats. And it's true. You should, Massachusetts, you're a Democrat voter, you should take MS-13 into your home and bed them down with your children. It'll be a good cultural experience for them. They can learn a few key words and phrases in Spanish. Remember, Barack Obama said that all our kids we should all learn to speak Spanish. Don't worry about illegal aliens speaking English. Just, you need to learn to speak Spanish because...
Instead of worrying about whether immigrants can learn English, they'll learn English. You need to make sure your child can speak Spanish.
Yeah, so and if your kids are sleeping with MS-13, that'd be the fast-track approach to learning Spanish. Man, oh man. Thank you, Matt. CBD is everywhere. They're putting CBD in everything now, and my friends at Generic CBD have infused CBDs into their #1 best-selling, deep-penetrating muscle and joint cream. And let me tell you, the stuff is amazing. Everybody loves it. It melts right into your knees, your elbows, your back, your shoulder. Your stiff hands, your fingers, your joints. Works like a miracle. It goes to work in seconds, too. And it's a fantastic moisturizer. Even my best girl says so. The company is called GenericCBD.com. I know you want to support them. You've heard me talk about them before. They sell premium CBD products for less. And right now, you can try their muscle and joint cream for free. You get it for free. You pay $2.95 to help with the shipping and handling, but don't worry, it's not a subscription. There are no strings attached. They just want you to try it because they know you're going to love it and you're going to want to buy it for yourself and for your mom and as gifts, and you're going to love it. And we love them because they support us and great causes. So get your free sample at GenericCBD.com. That's GenericCBD.com, GenericCBD.com. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, prevent any disease or illness. Tell you, this is the Democrats are in charge, and look at all the progress they're making here. This is what they call progress. More murders, states of emergency in Massachusetts and New York. They need $488,000 in New York City for each illegal alien. It's a very expensive city. We've got Joe Biden, the president, and the millions of dollars from overseas oligarchs, which to the New York Times is not a problem and not a story, because it's good to be a Democrat, and that's coming right up. Hunter Biden and associates earned $10 million more from foreign sources than previously known. That's coming up. Pretty amazing story. And in Florida, Ron DeSantis versus the radical left-wing extremist pro-criminal prosecutor, a Democrat. And the media's take on all this, MSDNC and beyond.